Good evening. Welcome to episode 75 of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the beautiful, comfortable, and now fall-like conditions of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check me out and check out the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on Substack. Apologize, guys, if this episode is getting to you kind of late. I was a little under the weather with a sinus infection at work and back to school and a lot going on, man. A lot going on. Funeral tomorrow. One of my loved ones has left us. We'll definitely be handling that tomorrow. Bit of a rough subject, but nonetheless, definitely I'm glad to be back with you guys as always, delivering the hard-hitting facts. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the NFL news, something about the end of training camp, beginning of week one, kind of the prep going into week one. A lot of bits of information in this. Like I said, this information I was able to unpack. I had this pretty much, this episode was done by the weekend, so I do apologize, but once everything kind of fell in through, I wanted to make sure I got it in right before the end of this, before the start of the season. So you'll see this kind of like posting during the game. You already know. Check it out when you get a chance, but definitely got this episode coming to you. Hopping right into this, we're going to start off with the holdouts have finally ended, guys. The holdouts have ended. Brandon Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb, Trent Williams, all these guys have signed up to their new deals. I have the contract details here available. Trent Williams, you have to give me a day or so. I have to get the rest of those details pulled up. However, CeeDee Lamb agreed to his new contract with the Dallas Cowboys, 4 years, $136 million extension, $36 million guaranteed at signing, $36 million signing bonus. So, very lucrative deal for CeeDee Lamb. Also, Brandon Ayuk, be remiss talking about his contract. His contract was even crazier, 4 years, $120 million extension. $76 million guaranteed in total. Again, got to give those guys props. Trent Williams signed a lucrative extension with the 49ers, getting his money, getting the bag, pretty much getting locked up for the next year or two. Again, great deals for all those players. No arguments there. All those guys deserve those contracts. However, Dallas and San Francisco fucked this up. They fumbled the ball with the way they handled the whole offseason. They didn't really handle it with the swag or the energy that it was expected for them to handle it with. They kind of lowballed these guys, talked a little shit in the media, made it seem like they didn't really need these guys to win. However, I think on a lot of arguments, Kyle Shanahan's more or less, I'll touch on that a bit later, kind of proved that, maybe you kind of do need these guys. Because maybe what you weren't willing to pay him, someone else will. And the fact that you are going to pay him, now you're still going to have to figure out how to pay your other guys. Going into it, though, with CeeDee Lamb, again, great deal for him. What does this ultimately mean for Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott? Micah Parsons, I think, is just going to have to play haggle, and, at some point, and then he'll get his deal. Dak, I've been telling y'all all offseason, by week one, if this man does not have this contract, more than likely he's going to be done. More than likely, he's not going to be a Cowboy the following season. And the reality of the situation is what it's boiled down to is clock's ticking. Game 1 tonight, game 2 tomorrow, rest Sunday, Monday night, Jets and 49ers. And what does Dak Prescott have? Nothing. And as he's told you, he's not even concerned with it at the moment. So until we see, the information revealed that Dak's got that new deal, stand by what I said. As far as the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk is concerned, Brandon Ayuk, like I said, great deal for him. That contract locks him up until 2029, and at that point he becomes an unrestricted free agent to hit the market again, or hit the market and get a new deal. My take on this is this shouldn't have taken as long as it did. The 49ers botched this, just as Dallas did. They completely fucked this up. Shit the bed on this one. Kyle Shanahan and all that bloviating and talk that we heard in the media about his system and how great and genius his system is. Yeah, bullshit. Without Trent Williams, if you really were that hard on your stance, you wouldn't have paid those guys. And the reality is you didn't want to pay them at the rate that you wanted to pay them, but you waited until the end of the off season where season's about to start. These guys haven't practiced at all. At all. You got a dude in shorts and a Crystal Geyser 2-liter water bottle and flip flops on, and Brandon Ayuk at practice every damn day. And now you're like, hey, you know what, maybe we should pay him. You know, if the Steelers are willing to pay him, but they ain't willing to give us what we want, and other teams are willing to pay him, we might as well pay him. Great idea, Kyle. Great idea. Pay him. Pay Brandon Ayuk. Get out your damn way. Get that ego and shit out of your way. And maybe you'll actually win something. This is insane. Trent Williams, you're just now paying Trent Williams? What were you going to do? Go into the season without him at left tackle? And what was that going to mean for McCaffrey and Brock Purdy? I'm very interested to see what that would have meant for them without Trent Williams being there. Like I said, I'll have his contract details revealed in another episode, but great deals for both of those guys. 49ers completely shit the bed on that one. Don't understand why that whole game even went back and forth and trying to lowball them. It was just stupid. It was stupid. This next segment, though, this next topic I wanted to get into is dealing with Indianapolis Colts. This article was written a couple of days ago on ESPN, and even Pro Football Talks' Mike Florio loosely referenced it about, I believe, early this morning on an episode. But Chris Ballard, and the heat is on for Chris Ballard. 8 years as a GM, record of 54, 60, and 1 tie, 1-2 in the postseason. He's definitely hot seats on. I don't really understand because I get it. I get why he's under pressure, but he's kind of a guy that I empathize for, and I'll explain. Pros and cons, right? Cons. I get completely. You know, playoff record 1-2, 54, 60, and 1, as I previously stated. Missed the postseason the past 3 straight years. You know, that's not good. That's not good. That'll get any GM fired. And he's even critiqued, you know, by the indie media and some of the fan base for not going after big name free agents and trying to build and recruit a lot of young talent. I completely understand all these things. I don't knock it. I've seen my team, the Eagles, do it. I've seen a lot of teams do it with success. However, I do understand the fan base where it's like there's times where you can spend the money and get a guy. You can't really go cheap. You really have to really do the right thing and make sure you acquire the talent that's needed for this team to make the next step, which is possibly a Super Bowl berth or another Super Bowl victory. However, that being said, based between the owner's decision making and the injuries they've suffered, how the fuck is this Chris Ballard's fault? I mean, yes, the Carson Wentz trade was horrific. I mean, when you break it down, the Carson Wentz deal turns into A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So I get it. You know, at the minimum, A.J. Brown, Jordan Davis. It's a bad look for the Colts. That's a move that set them back a year or so. I completely understand. I completely understand all those things. However, there's even people that were critiquing, and I referenced this in a previous episode throughout the summer, their approach going into camp. How they were talking about going into it with a conservative approach, not really approaching it with an aggressive camp, mixing in snaps, playing, not playing. I get it. They're trying to do everything different to keep guys healthy, to keep guys sharp, to keep guys fresh. But I just really feel like the real issue is Jim Irsay, but because we can't fire the owner, we're going to definitely knock the GM. I'm not saying Chris Ballard doesn't deserve any blame, but damn, look at the injuries. Damn, look at the quarterback play. Damn, look at the defensive injuries they suffered. Losing Isaiah Rodgers for a season. I mean, like having Kenny Moore injured, having Jonathan Taylor injured, the holdout, not wanting to pay him. I mean, it's just a lot of decisions that get made in Indianapolis that fall on the owner's shoulders that Chris Ballard has to just, you know, be a good soldier, grit and bear it, and take it. And he gets paid millions of dollars, so it's not like his job is, you know, whoa, Chris Ballard. However, these quotes that he made when he was asked this by the indie media, I thought were stark. When asked if he felt that he was on the hot seat, he said, quote, "No different than any other year." He's trying to be modest, but we know. If this team doesn't make the postseason this year for the 4th straight year, with Steichen, with Anthony Richardson being there, hopefully healthy, they don't see this team take the next step, he's getting fired. But the blame should be on Jim Irsay. Wholeheartedly. Jim Irsay has really botched this. Keep in mind, guys, he had the chance to keep Peyton Manning. He got rid of Peyton and got Andrew Luck. No one scoffed at the move initially. Look back in hindsight now and realize Peyton wins an MVP. Peyton gets the 2 Super Bowls, wins one. Andrew Luck's no longer even in the league. Like I said, Jim Irsay be dodging some bullets, man. Dodging some major bullets. Going a bit further, we're going to hop into another topic here. Something near and dear to the heart. Something new and true, but kind of reminiscent. Going a bit further, we're going to hop on Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and them naming Russell Wilson the starting quarterback. I'm going to keep this very short and to the point. This is a bad idea. I get it. You don't want to put Justin Fields out there right away, damage his confidence, and then if he struggles, you got to go with Russell. But I just feel like at this point, you know, especially after we saw that drive where they played the Lions and he completed that long third down, completed that ball to George Pickens, and then the team goes and scores. Once they pulled him and they pulled George Pickens, kind of felt from, you know, then we knew he was going to be the starter. I mean, hell, Mike Tomlin told you he had pole position in the beginning of the offseason. So it's not really a shock. You know, Justin Fields didn't really help himself because the offense did look a little too erratic while he was in there. A lot of fumble snaps. That's definitely something that, you know, Mike Tomlin's not going to deal with and want to see. But I just feel like this is just a road to the inevitable. Justin Fields is going to be starting at some point this season, and I just feel like it's a waste of time putting Russell in because I do feel like Russell's washed, and I do feel like he's going to show flashes of games where it's going to be like, damn, that guy's still good, and it's going to be games where it's like, yeah, that's why Denver got off him. Yeah, Seattle, yeah, let Russ cook my ass. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot riding on that decision, and I feel like people are kind of under pressure in Pittsburgh, and maybe that's why they're going with some of the decisions they're making because Russell Wilson, you know, he's not even getting paid that type of money, so I guess it's really no risk, low risk, high reward, but playing how he played the other, you know, we've seen him throughout the past couple of years. I don't know how much of a reward it is. Going a step further, we're going to take this within the division, but we're going to take this to the Cleveland Browns. And talking about Deshaun Watson, but more importantly, Kevin Stefanski's coach Kevin Stefanski of the Cleveland Browns' quote on Deshaun Watson, where he said he is very confident in the amount of work done by Deshaun Watson this summer, and his summer and contract restructure was also done for Deshaun Watson. $230 million over 5 years, which is exactly $46 million per year, fully guaranteed. No roster bonus or option bonus. Cap number will increase next year to $72.935 million. My God, that's crazy cap number. It's just fucking insane. Keep in mind that they restructured his contract last year, converting all but $1.8 million into a signing bonus. If anybody didn't have like a thermometer or a stethoscope and just couldn't read a pulse, if this move doesn't show you that the pressure is on Deshaun Watson to perform, it is on. I'm glad that Stefanski felt like he got in a lot of work. You know, they played Dallas game 1 Sunday. I tell you what, you lose that game and you look worse than Dak or you look bad, it's not setting a good tone going into the season. It is not setting a good tone. You've missed a lot of games. Deshaun Watson has missed a lot of games as a starting quarterback for the Browns, but he's made a lot of money. Made a hell of a lot of money, and I don't knock Deshaun Watson for that. I knock the Cleveland Browns because they knew what they were doing. You ultimately paid this man when you knew he had all of what he had going on. Obviously exonerated. You know, it was clearly just, 69 God on a massage table. However, though, that being said, if he doesn't perform, all that money's guaranteed and they can't get off him. So pressure's on Cleveland. Burrow's healthy. Lamar's coming off MVP season. Steelers look like they're running with Russ. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. Hey, what's up? I know it sucks. The video just ended. But listen, you can catch this whole interview on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Links are in the description. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.